Now, what I also want to look at before going into the specifics of Muslims themselves and their relationship to slavery is the concept of slavery itself. What we have to realize is that slavery in the ancient world was an international phenomenon. Slavery was in China, in Africa, in Europe, in the Americas, in the Middle East. It was everywhere in the world. It's almost similar to worker and boss today. Even the word slave itself, many historians are saying, comes from Slav. You know, like Czechoslovakia, Slavic people, because they were enslaved by the Romans. And so they looked at blonde-haired, blue-eyed people coming from the north as slaves. That's a strange definition today, especially with racism having overtaken everything. That's a strange definition. But in the ancient time, slavery was not defined by color. Slavery was a class, or it was a life that a person was put into for a number of different reasons. And so when you look back at the ancient times, you will find in ancient Byzantium, the Byzantine Empire, under the digests compiled by a Christian emperor, slavery was considered part of the law of nature. Marriages between slaves were not legal in the Byzantine Roman Empire. Marriages between slaves and free were prohibited under severe penalties. You will also find that within America itself, amongst the native people, in China, in Africa, there was slavery. And slavery usually came about through warfare. That after the war was over, the prisoners of war, who were usually women and children, were taken by the other side and incorporated into the society. So the definition of slavery itself, if we are to look at Islam, which began not recently, but over 1400 years ago, to have the proper perspective, we need to have a proper perspective about slavery itself. You are talking about a relationship between people that was established throughout the planet. It was the way of life of the people on earth. If you were in a war and you were not killed, you were taken as a slave. This was all over the planet.